It's incredible the difference that a result can make, but that's going to take this Carlton team forward in leaps and bounds. Paddy Cripps talking about the importance of winning some of these games, of instead of being on the receiving end all the time, we've got to start coming out on top, and they found a way to do that tonight.
I thought, though, when the wet conditions came, in the second quarter especially, I think they favoured Carlton's game. You know, they
contested ball.
Contested ball, yeah. They won the centre clearances. Yeah. And I felt as if Sydney looked good in the first quarter, Jason, when they controlled the football. Yes, they gave away some inside 50s, but their defenders who were good kicks, they were able to use that precise kicking and work their way out of their defensive 50 and get it over the back and score goals. But when that rain came, I just felt as if things dried up and they weren't able to play that messy style of football that Carlton were able to play.
All right, we're going to show it. The big highlight. It is our zero key moment of the match. Matty Cottrell, and this will be played over and over again this week. The mark was awesome, the goal was clutch, but it was the celebration that everyone will be talking about, Jonathan Brown.
One of the great celebrations. He's clearly been doing some work in the gym, Jace, to do a celebration like this. The veins were popping. It was David Parkin, like the old Carlton coach there in the neck.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man.
Yes. What about the eyes?
A little bit of blood out of the snoz doesn't hurt either. Just makes the package look even more fearsome. I loved it. Look, truth be told, that's one of the most enjoyable moments of the season for me thus far. When you see a young player step up in a big moment, he said, I saw an opportunity to take a mark, so he just attacked it. And when you watch the replay of the mark, his eyes never left the footy. And then he went back, wasn't just taking the mark, he then had to handle the pressure, go back, kick the goal. He did that. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Yeah, he didn't have a great night. Like, he was pretty quiet.
Doesn't matter.
He said that post-game. He said that post-game, Browning.
That's what I love about
Makes it even better.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? A young player not getting down on himself. He thinks, I can still contribute. And he did. He contributed. He kicked the match winner. So well done to that young group. They're progressing along nicely.
In the big moment, indeed. All right, we're going to have a look at the fourth quarter because that's where all the action was. As we said earlier in the game, the Swans have got out to a 39-point lead, but it was the fourth quarter where things got a bit frantic, Jace.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was 7-4 at half-time, so the scoring dried up a little bit, and then it was just the Blues inching their way back. A goal here, a goal there. It was who was going to make the bad mistakes, who was going to take the half opportunities. Both teams put themselves under pressure with bad turnovers. An opportunity here for Will Hayward. He fails to score. I mean, that's when scores were locked up there for some time, and we saw Petrevski-Seton have a shot, which he couldn't.
That kick?
That was extraordinary. Well,
that was a great mark.
It was a terrible kick from Paddy Cripps. He'd love his time over again because he missed 2 targets. Could have gone short or long. He kicked it in the middle. It was an extraordinary decision to spoil and not mark, and then to get the second bite of the cherry. But he butters up. That's what I love about Paddy Cripps. He might have made an error, but he'll be there. This is, again, hit the scoreboard or put it up and give your man a chance to mark it in the air, but you can't drill it in low like that.
The story of Carlton is their inside 50 entries over the last few weeks just hasn't been there, but that time, Matty Cottrell just went bang. And the winger's been able to contribute, hit the scoreboard all year this year. He's played 5 games a week. What a celebration. Now this one,
dodgy free
this
kick.
Is the dodgy free kick we've spoken about. He did get the free kick.
Look at his run-up, Brownie.
Yeah, that last step, Jace, he
slices right across the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So he wouldn't have been happy with that. He looked back on the video, but probably just to serve because I think we've seen plenty of times that doesn't get paid as a free kick. Yeah. I don't think it was a genuine high. Yes, Cripps' arm was, sort of running across the top of the shoulder, but the hand was on the ball. Here's a second look at it.
Not for me. He's dropped at the knees and he's throwing the head back with no head contact.
Yeah, the other thing is, too, is Cripps' hands are around the ball or going for the ball there. So I think quite often the umpires let that go. So I think you're happy enough.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one for the umpires. They can only pay what they see. He had an opportunity to tie it up. Unfortunately for Lewis Talley, he wasn't able to do it, but we did have a good game in the end. Given the conditions and everything that happened, and one team to kick 7 goals to start with, we had a great game in the end.
The footy gods perhaps thought that one didn't warrant a goal. We're going to have a look at a McInerney goal, Jonathan Brown, because we've really liked his work the last couple of weeks.
Yes. We're rising star last week, Sarah. So we've got another zero lab, He was terrific. And I love his work rate, Sarah, and he does have an ability to bob up forward. He kicked 2 goals last week. But it's not because he's sneaking out the back. He does work hard. He can run well both ways. So he gets involved in the play here, and then he just keeps running all the way through. And this was Carlton's problem early. allowing goals out the back. But look at that, just keeps moving. No one's picking him up. He's thinking, how good's this? I'm going to bob up in the forward line. So he's obviously got a very good tank, and he's come a long way, and he's very exciting. One of a number of exciting youngsters for the Sydney Swans, and he's a nice finisher as well.
Yeah, good
It's
stuff.
Good effort, wasn't it? Really good effort for a young player.
Now, we spoke about it all throughout the call, the inside 50 differentials, Jace. 50 to 34 was the final count, and certainly at the beginning of the match when the Swans, even though they had that onslaught, Carlton still had the ball in their forward 50. How do they fix this?
Well, it's an issue, although we must clarify that a lot of the times this year, the team with less inside 50s has actually won the game. And it's not necessarily... Years ago, it used to be if you had, 10 plus more inside 50s, you'd win the game. That doesn't happen anymore. There are a lot of imbalances between inside 50s for the two teams, and it's whoever has the better efficiency going forward. And this is the issue for Carlton this year. They're getting inside 50s, but they don't deliver the ball well. I think it's a combination of the forwards being in the right position, the ball users making the right decision, and then having the execution skills to actually perform the kick that they're looking for. So there's work to be done, but they're getting opportunities, and that's a great part of the equation.
Yeah, you've nailed it, absolutely. It's frustrating at times when you see that long ball go in and, Carlton's big forwards don't compete or don't jump at the ball. Certainly McGovern was very quiet. He needs to start to produce more. So like I say, you're running around there as a key forward. If you're not going to touch the football, at least contribute in the aerial contest.
He's got to get to more contests, Brad.
He's just not getting contest enough. I'd love to see he's behind the goals and just see what his work rate's like, because he needs to get to far more contest. That's the bread and butter for a key forward. And then the other thing is Harry Mackay. He's a terrific young talent. He's a tremendous athlete, but sometimes he might lean on that athleticism too much and get out of the blocks too early. And he needs to know he's got great speed. He needs to either hold his leads back and just not lead too early, or stay deeper and wait for that long ball to come on. Quite often we see Mackay lead into congestion, and it's hard. The midfielder's under pressure, running through the middle of the ground. He's not going to be able to see Harry Mackay leading at him into congestion. He's better off probably staying back unless he's got a clear passage to the ball carrier.
Well, one of the Blues midfielders who had a great game, Sam Walsh, 25 disposals and a goal. He is alongside our very own Alistair Lynch up there in Queensland.
Sam, you're just coming out of the team meeting. How was the coach?
Yeah, Tiki was pumped just like pretty much everyone. It was a hard-fought victory. We showed a lot of heart, and there were some crucial moments late, but we felt like we sort of played on our terms in that second half and played the brand of footy we wanted to. So made it close to ourselves, but it was rewarding.
Pretty much dominated that third quarter in particular. Was it frustrating at times at three-quarter time break?
Yeah, well, I think we've learned a lot after the past couple of weeks where we probably had a lot of time in our forward half and we haven't scored, and on the back of that we probably got frustrated, but I feel like this week we've really sort of grown in that area and seen it as a real positive that we're keeping in our forward half, and we know if we keep doing that, opportunities will come. So we had a few moments where we probably could have finished a bit better, but it's stuff to keep working on.
Over the last 10 weeks, you've spent very little time in the centre square at centre bounce. Bit of a change up today?
Yeah, so today early in the first half, got in there for a few centre bounces and just wanted to get the running in my game going and really spread from the contest. So I think we're building as a group and can show that we can put different pieces in different places, and I feel like everyone's embracing their role at the moment, and that feels like me included as well, and I'm just happy to do whatever helps the team.
How good's this? Get a win late in the season for this young group?
Yeah, it's been great, and we've really been disappointed with it the past 2 weeks, and we know we've still got a lot of growth, and the first quarter was probably an example of that. But for us to go on from here, we want to really knuckle down and focus in on Adelaide this week.
How's life in the hub going for a young man yourself? I'm tipping you haven't got any family around you at the moment. How's that going? Yeah, I've loved the hub life. Obviously, we come up here about probably 10 or 11 weeks ago now, and I've enjoyed being around all the boys, and I feel like we've got a great mix of having a bit of fun off field, but also focusing in when we need to, and I think it's going to be great for our group going forward. And the weather up here, as you know, Lynchy, is pretty good, so I haven't been complaining. No, I wouldn't imagine. Now, we can't finish the interview without having a chat about Matty Cottrell. Not so much his mark, not so much his goal, but what about his celebration? He must be a unique character. Yeah, he was pumped, and Cots is amazing for the group in terms of just the bubbliness he brings. He's always got energy, and for him to go back and back himself like that, I can see why he was so pumped. So I think everyone loved his carry-on. So the boys got around him, it was good. Well, I can imagine their teammates loved it, and certainly everyone at home did. So it was fantastic. Congratulations on your game, outstanding today. Well done. Thanks, Lynchy. Cheers.
We can't watch that vision enough, can we? I think that'll be in every Fox Footy promo for the next little bit.
Yeah, it was good. Jace, you still got the flex in you like that? Is that one of your celebrations?
No, not quite. I was a little more reserved than that, but hey, I'm all for it. That sort of colour is brilliant for our game.